What's up, people? It's tea time. Sorry.
You know, someone has started commenting on our videos and just calling us Beavis and Butthead, and you did zero things right there to dispel that that slander
leaning
that we have
in,
encountered.
leaning into the pain. Oh Lord. Yeah, COVID did some things to our psyche, y'all.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
for sure.
apparently we were told that we've amped up the intensity of the show since COVID started.
Oh,
which I was frankly unaware of.
Yeah, we got some aged ripe.
Yeah, some 1994 ripe, aged in Hong Kong. So this is from Yee On, who is a Hong Kong tea company who's been at it for some time, and they just opened up an online shop in the last year or two.
Yeah.
And started selling to the West. Ooh, smell that stuff.
Smells great. Yeah.
So, Xiaguan, Tool Ripe. I mean, this is
my stuff.
This is your classic.
This is my jam right here.
Yeah.
I feel at home. Yeah, excited. And it's cool. So actually, a friend was asking me about why people age ripe. In general, it's not something to age as much, but it is interesting. We're having an aged ripe.
Yeah. I will say that one thing that is interesting, and I think this specifically applies to this tea, but less so to something like a Kunming stored tea, is that storing it in sort of like this Hong Kong traditional storage, it does give it this really interesting sort of like Chinese medicine ginseng type thing going on.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that white balance there.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the production level.
Yeah, hope you filed a patent for that one.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah, here we're entrepreneurs here on TeaDB, you know.
Totally. Yeah, gotta get paid.
So yeah, I mean, I was just saying, it's like sort of like this ginseng traditional Chinese medicine stuff going on, and I personally really like that profile. I think it's an acquired taste, and maybe we'll talk later about the mom test if this passes it.
Sure.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, are we drinking this or?
We are. No, yeah, okay. I'm just getting ahead of this next one here, keeping it hot. And yeah, absolutely. There's like a distinct, just like Chinese, Asian, herb store smell.
Yeah.
And yeah, very ginseng.
Yeah, and it's not for everyone, but I suspect Denny and I both like that sort of taste.
Mm. You know, the thing that gets me about ripe so much is that there's this just evident sweetness. Oh wow, this one is so sweet.
Yeah, so smooth, right?
Yeah. Interesting. That I love about these teas. That for me is what makes this profile potentially like a mom test passable profile, is just that there's this sweetness there that even if you're like, wow, this tastes like sticks,
right?
You know, it's like, oh, but it's really sweet, and
right.
This one's incredibly sweet as an aftertaste.
Yeah, some of these teas just taste like kind of like old furniture from Asia or something like that. And it's interesting. I mean, it's like a really smoothness, a lot of woodiness to it. But yeah, I mean, I do agree. There's like a tea like this for the people that are very sensitive to bitterness or astringency. Stuff like young raw pour or semi-aged raw pour might not be for them, but this has none of that. This is extremely smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very old school type tea.
Not so much pencil shavings. Shout out to my diehard fans.
You have to check that out on the next track.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Here we go.
But very clean too, I gotta say. For this one, I get a lot of that sort of like antique shop smell, like sort of like woody furniture.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of ginseng, but
less cherry. The fruitiness and those kind of mid to high notes, I feel like have
aged out.
Yeah, shrunk down a little bit. A little bit more earthiness. Almost I hesitate to say because we had so many roasted teas earlier, but almost a kind of minerally charcoaly thing going on, just a little bit, and that's kind of the intersection of that tea or the stick woody flavor with, I think, age. As you noted, though, for how old this is, it is incredibly clean. So which is interesting because you kind of expect that dank medicinal shop flavor profile to be really good aftertaste.
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Nice sort of like coating going on.
Yeah. Ooh, how dark that is. More vegetable or dirt earthiness on the finish for me.
Yeah, shout outs to the Tomato as well as Beet Associations of America.
Yeah, we've been
our sponsors.
Yeah,
you know, we've been shilling for them.
Right. Yeah. Big Beet.
Big Beet. Yeah,
has been a big part of our.
I'm more a fan of Big Cherry Tomato.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
It beats the grape tomatoes. Those guys lowballed us, and you know what we do to lowballers. Toss them off 2-story buildings.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Cheers!
Yeah, cheers.
This one's bringing out that earthiness to it, like a little more beets in this one.
Yeah. Or like, for me, have you like parsnips have an extremely earthy carrot. It's like a much earthier carrot flavor, not as sweet.
Yeah,
really nice. What do you think about mom test on this?
I was going to toss that to you. I would not be my first pick, but I think
I agree.
it has a shot.
It's a little bit. I feel like these flavors are a bit
Foreign.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think you like it.
Yeah.
But it's something that I think our tea drinker might be like a little bit perplexed by.
Yeah.
I'll just hang out for a minute and see how we do.
Yeah.
These aged teas can handle some pressure, so.
Yeah. And
I haven't reheated the water or anything like that.
I can see this being a nice sort of ultralight tea too.
Totally. Look at the viscosity of that. Like syrupy that is. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Grandpa style would be great on this.
Right. And you know, sort of like the last tea, this is a tea that you can really push hard, and you just get a different sort of brew. It's not going to bite back.
Look at that. That's crazy. Almost black.
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful color and mouthfeel texture on this. One of my favorite parts about Ripe is the molassesy, syrupy vibe. You can just swirling it around a little bit, just see like the legs on the cup. It's great.
Cheers.
Steve. Cheers.
So what would you say this brings to the table that like a young Ripe does not? To sort of go back to our friend's question at the beginning.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is going to be that sort of like vegetal earthiness that kind of comes out and gets more pronounced on these teas. There's more like a leaning to a bit of almost like a sour tomato as opposed to a tart cherry. A bit more earthy, woody. I say pencil shavings, but kind of true sometimes.
Do you get that from this?
Not as much on this one, but on some of the aged Ripes that we've had, definitely.
Right.
And that is an intersection also with the older raw too. It's not as sweet. I think that's the other thing too. Is those ones? This one at least. There's more. Maybe it's something to do with processing, but almost like a darker flavor roast kind of thing going on.
Right. I mean, I would say that this tea in particular is a good contrast versus the younger Ripe, because it does show what I think you're describing those, and I think that's accurate. But I also think the difference is unsubtle. It's like you can clearly tell this has been aged if you are familiar with Ripe.
Right.
This does not taste like a Ripe that's been made recently.
Yeah.
So
I think it's to your point exactly. I think it is fairly obvious. It's not, you're not grasping to figure out if it's aged or not.
Yeah.
They're pretty distinct. Not as much vanilla in these either.
Yeah, that vanilla creaminess. You could certainly get some Ripe that's old, that's creamy, but this one's not too much, at least.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, this is I'm enjoying this one a lot.
Seems like this is going to brew a while as well.
Yeah, and so I get more medicinal shop on the nose, a little bit less in like the mouth, but residual flavor is incredible on this. I think if you're a Ripe pu'er person, you find those flavors really interesting. This would be a like a definite grab. I'm really enjoying this. It's
yeah, and this tea is acquirable. It's I think 800 Hong Kong dollars, which is not the same as American dollars. I think it's about $100 for a 100-gram tool. So considering it's 94, I don't think that's an outrageous price to be paid.
Yeah, seriously. It's a treat, but at the same time, a tea like this will last for quite a bit of time too.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's probably good enough. We're going for like jet black.
Getting there.
We are. Yeah. Oh my gosh, beautiful. And I love.
Do you serve ripe tea to anyone else?
Only to contrast it to other stuff. It's a little bit, because it's a really great contrast against like a green oolong or something. It's like, whoa, a tea person who may like, I don't know what I'm tasting, and you're like, okay, don't worry about that. Try this, and then look, I'm thinking of a friend John, having tea in Salt Lake with him, and he was like, I don't really get it. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's not about like, it's not about anything more than just vibing here at all.
Yeah.
And then he had some ripe, and he was like, okay, I see why these are different.
Yeah. If you're doing a simple taste bud test, if this tastes the same as green tea, then your taste buds probably are
COVID.
Yeah.
Go to the doctor.
Yeah. Why do we need COVID tests when we can just do the A/B test?
And look at the colors, just this like amber, just stunning. Cheers.
I like that. I like it pushed. It's like additional texture. It's a very stout brew.
Totally.
Like even a little creamy.
Maybe a hint of bitterness from kind of a charcoaly, almost like you had some grilled meat. It has a little bitterness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, this is just like my jam. Like this is my shit right here. So I have to like this, but I really do actually. I would recommend people go and grab this. I think this is a great example of an aged ripe. And if I had to like shout out to my friend Sam, if I had to give him a tea to try like that, this would be a perfect way of comparing that to something that I would grab from on sourcing or something that was just made or pressed recently.
Right. And it's not a cheap ripe by any stretch of the imagination, but the fact that like $1 per gram, it's like this is $5. That's perfectly reasonable and shared for two people.
Exactly. For a friend to have tea with and hang out and chat for a couple hours, that's some pretty affordable entertainment.
Should we do our beat ad reads now? Just kidding.
Beats by Big Beats.
Here's a can of
Beats. Sponsored by Beats. Lots of Beats. Shout out to all the Beats people out there who haven't sponsored us yet. Why have you not been returning my calls?
Yeah.
Did we say what episode we're on, by the way?
390, something like that.
Yeah. Comment below what we should do for a 400 episode. Probably will be ridiculous and inappropriate.
Or we might just forget and be like, oh, it's episode 400.
That's likely, actually. Oh, hey, we totally forgot about that.
People made fun of us on episode 357 because that's the size of a standard 4K. And we did nothing.
Oh, we didn't do anything. That's
so
pretty
good. The ball.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So we're good about, we're good at cranking out the episodes. Not so good about remembering.
I did have to go to Pura prison, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's reformed.
I'm going to let this hang out for another second.
Yeah.
These old teas are fun to push, and much not... Ripe you can push when it's young because it's ripe.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be better. This is the kind of tea, though, I think that you push a little bit. We're going for like jet black here. And we're getting there. Oh,
yeah. And we're brewing this in a Xiaguan. You could definitely use a clay pot too. It's probably even better, but we're drinking a lot of teas here today, so yeah.
All right, this is our final brew for today, and wow, look at that, just dark, stunning. And these teas really handle it. I mean, that's the cool thing, is that you do not need to be wildly attentive to brew these right.
Cheers.
Cheers. I think it's best brewed like this.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing with the tea like this is sometimes when you're doing the wooies, if you do it a certain way, you're done. It's like you can't recover. But a tea like this is just a chuck. It just keeps on going and going. So it's like it offers you the chance to try it both ways. You can try a lighter brew, which is also tasty, or you can try it like this, which is really thick, a bit less sweetness, but you have a very thick, protracted mouthfeel, some nice coating, and yeah, it's just a different profile.
Totally, and still sweet. You know, I mean, just not as sweet. Cool. Yeah, people can grab this at
Yee On.
Okay. TeaDB.com.
Yeah, just wow, they didn't put it on it. Yee On tea. Yeah, the Yee. Check out the Yee.
Look it up. This is the 94.
Yeah, 1994 Xiaguan.
Yeah, tool.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, a favorite of mine. Always enjoyed drinking these. I still have one from the 80s that I still like. Just keep a little chunk of.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I thank everybody for sending us teas too, and like giving us the opportunity to try this different stuff. This is a buy for me.
Yeah,
and it's pretty good.
It's good tea.
Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you guys didn't, you're gonna have to subscribe, unfortunately. But go to TeaDB.org for every written piece of content that's ever existed on tea, minus everything else that's been written on tea.
Nice.
True statement. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. More debauchery coming up soon. Sorry about your eardrums. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, we're gonna wreck them in a second when the next video from TeaDB plays. Cheers.
Peace.